XU to really move the way he wants to.
Yeah, good seizing of an opportunity there by Captain Shrimps. He saw the scatter the weak blown and immediately went in for a big culling onto Stupid. Going to chunk him down to about half HP, try to get some priority where he can. And I now expect Cloud9 to try to focus around this bottom lane, as we can see XU moving down here to do just that, as now Wixie is actually found himself with a pretty significant advantage. They were able to get 3 plates down in the bot lane, and the top lane now pretty close to being a lost cause. Speedo was not able to get an advantage in the top lane, and Nogri Disciple now sitting on 3 assists worth of gold.
Yeah, and that is very nice. You don't want to, even if it's assist gold, you don't want any extra gold on this Camille at all. And now I just want to see what's going to end up happening here on this bot side. We do have this potential 3v3, but of course, again, with these champs, we talked about the poke. You're seeing XU throw spears, trying to see if he can hit anybody, if he can engage onto anybody, but it seems like the answer to all of that is no at the moment, and that just ends up being time wasted here, Gordo, and really the only thing going for them is that Speedo seems to be getting on the better ends of these trades. Problem is, Nuguri could back and teleport to these skirmishes.
Finding some CC onto himself, and now here comes the Ragnarok from Olaf. Maybe a little bit too late. Already knocked up, but that's going to be a big taunt landed onto XU, and he's just going to get picked up easily by Stupid. A 3rd kill for him on the Syndra, and now Tempos is going to be forced to flash away, as there's just too many members of Glacial Esports ahead of him. Even more advantages going over to the blue team in this game, and XU maybe trying to force a little bit too hard in that bot lane. We talked about how it was important for him to focus on, and it's been there for too long. They know that he's there now.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because he ended up using so much time. Actually, hold on.
You're onto Wixie. They're actually going to be going for the knockup here, and they've got the Olaf around the corner. There's no flash on the Alistair, so he's going to be picked up easily. Wixie going to try to trade back for a single kill, but he's going to get taken down as well by the Olaf. A double kill to the side of Armored Maudad, as he is huge in this game. 100% KP at 12 minutes.
And that was a really good engage from single-digit win rate. Even though he dies for it, it's absolutely worth. We're seeing Maudad find so much success. He's 3-0, and same with Stupid. Both 3 kills to their name are incredibly strong at the moment. And again, a lot of it is because of this wasted time that you talked about from XC. He spent so much time in that bottom side, not able to actually get any value. And he had a good farm lead over on Maudad, and then it ends up being null and voided. Although he is starting to pick it up right now, there's still plenty of Olaf's jungle camps available to him as he drops this Rift Herald. So overall, you threw away that little bit of a lead that was there. You also give the Olaf a couple of kills here, as it looks like they're just going to take down the Herald.
Yeah, going to be a bit of a wasted Herald there. It was just busy doing other activities, busy picking up too many kills for his team. Didn't really find a great opportunity to use that Herald that he picked up earlier, but at least it's denied from the side of Cloud9, and I'm sure he's perfectly happy with the 3-0-3 scoreline he's picked up in its stead.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was going to time out. That's why he wasn't really interested in
now,
it anymore.
We're going to use the Hextech Ultimatum to try to dodge away from the Counter-Strike. They're going to force the flash out of Speedo. An excellent play by him, but now Speedo going in even more aggressively, trying to make the trade happen. He has XU in the wings, but it's not going to be enough. Nuguri Disciple just going to be able to walk on out of there. A favorable trade for him, you have to say.
That's right. He flashes. He gets Speedo to flash. He doesn't have to blow his own. Manages to just hook shot away. As that ward is also so well placed. He knows XT is in the area and is going to just be able to avoid him altogether. And now what they may not know is that Armored Maudad has made his way to the top side as well. But it does look like he'll walk by the pink ward instead. Isn't going to try for any sort of lane gank. And he's just going to go to farming his camp. So far, nothing really working out here for Cloud9 Amateur. Glacial Esports are the ones who are really setting the pace, are the ones who have all of this tempo that they're really starting to pick up a lot of objectives with.
Speaking of tempo, a big engage from Tempos in the bot lane, but that's not what we're focusing on right now. Is Speedo's getting ganked in the top lane. He tried to trade onto Nuguri Disciple, but wasn't able to take him down, and now he's going to find himself taken down by the Olaf.
Yeah, this is tough. Olaf, again, even more so than he used to be, but he's that kind of champion that is going to get so much value off these early kills. He's going to be able to snowball this, snowball them to the end of the game. And now 4-0-3 at 15 minutes. Gordo, it's not looking good. I'm going to be real. They have 2 dragons to their name on the side of Glacial, and it feels like C9M are just behind at every turn. They don't seem to have any semblance of control of what's going on here. They have no objectives picked up, and they just can't catch a break here as XU just wants to walk into the topside river.
Yeah, and if you think things look bad now, Beatdown, just wait until Syndra is able to pick up a fully completed item, as she's now 3-0 in this game. And going to force out the flash from XU already, nonetheless, is they're just so powerful there. And XU playing up a bit too far and a bit too aggressively. Captain Shrimps, though, going to try to make the trade happen, and he gets a huge shutdown onto his lane opponent there. Excellently played by Captain Shrimps, trying to keep his team in this game and maybe finding his best opportunity to do so.
Absolutely going to be a good comp and oh my gosh, the word is escaping me. Consolation prize. There we go for Captain Shrimps, who manages to take Stupid out, pick up that extra gold from the shutdown. But it is going to take a lot more than that to come back here, because again, we're seeing how strong Modad specifically is on this Olaf now. They are going to make this play as the C9 have rotated their bot lane topside, and you have 4 members there deterring them from taking that top tier 1.
Yeah, there's a big lead for the side of Wixie at this point. Expect to see Wixie being used as a major power point for the side of Cloud9 Amateur now, as he is over 1k ahead from his lane opponent. They've been able to dump all that plate gold into him. They're able to dump the first turret gold into him, and now they've rotated him up top lane. It's going to be a point where Glacial is going to try to shut down this Vayne, because if they're able to do so, it's just going to be taking the legs of Cloud9 right out from under him.
And I think that's a really good way to put it here, as hopefully they can try to make a play for the second Rift Herald. Dragon not up for another minute, so there's really nothing else to play or fight for. But you need a little bit of vision here. It's really hard to see who is where right now. There's so much vision in favor of Glacial, and not a whole lot of deep wards placed by C9 Amateur. So if you really think about how it's going, they're in the dark right now. They have to do a little bit of face checking. They're trying to clear some vision. You do see a nice spear from XU, but who's going to jump on it? But
speaking of engage opportunity onto Nuggery Disciple, great engage from Tempo, followed up by the Condemned into the wall, and that's going to be another kill to the side of Wixie. He is going to be their power point for the rest of this game, and they're going to continue to get him ahead. An excellent pick there for the side of Cloud9 Amateur.
Yeah, listen, I know Nuggery, I know your name is Nuggery Disciple, and I know Nuggery is an aggressive player, but that was a little too aggressive, walking into the brush where that Alistar was here. They are going to get this mid lane, which is actually going to be very crucial. And you talked about the lead from Wixie. That is the main reason why C9 Amateur are actually ahead in gold. It is all on Wixie. You see it in the damage he's doing, and now they're going to use that. They're actually going to take some of his camps. They want this.
Yeah, they absolutely do, and they're going to be going in for a huge fight here, as XU is going to get exhausted onto, and they're just getting a good engage from this Olaf onto the rest of the team. They're just going to throw those axes through. They're going to use the AoE damage from Stupid, and they're going to pick up an easy win in this fight.
And that is a detrimental fight. That's one you could actually win if you're Cloud9 Amateur. But we just finished talking about how Wixie is the most fed on their team. Well, guess what? He wasn't part of that exchange at all. Like, literally, he was in the mid lane farming up, and you are not using the advantage you have in range against these melee champions, or these mostly melee champions on the side of Glacial Esports. Fact is, your Nidalee is not there, your Vayne is not there, and your Lucian is on top of them when he really should be backing out and trying to get that damage from range. There's no reason that Olaf should proc Gore Drinker off of a Lucian. That doesn't make any sense, Gordo. And that kind of thing is going to allow Glacial Esports to catch up and surpass the gold lead. It is small, but this is, again, how they increase this lead forward. The fact that they have gotten all of this gold already means they are looking good towards the end towards looking to win this game. And the few opportunities C9 had at the moment were squandered.
Yeah, it's absolutely the case. And while the gold overall is pretty close, it feels like the snowball opportunities have completely closed up, as you said. They're going to just have to go through Wixie for the rest of this game, but it's going to be really tough for him to find these fights. He's kind of low range, and they're just going to have Armored Modad throwing all these axes through him. He's got to watch out for Hextech Ultimatum. He's got to watch out for Heroic Entrance. He just has so many targeted abilities. They're going to be trying to either burst him out straight up, or are going to try to CC him down for other people to bring the damage.
Yeah, and although Vayne is low range, again, a lot of Glacial Esports big damage dealing champions are kind of low range, like this Olaf, who's doing a lot of work melee. Nuggery's Disciple on this Camille is melee. And then really outside of Scatter of the Week, I think Vayne is going to have a pretty decent time, especially with Tumble being able to do damage onto the Syndra. So overall, again, Wixie's there. He has the power. You just got to use him. You got to position around him. We already talked about in Champ Select how team fighting isn't really how C9 are going to win this game, and the fact that they're starting to fall behind in gold, that becomes even more true as they lack the hard engage that we see Glacial Esports have in spades.
Oh, that's a big stun landed on a Captain Shrimp. Followed up by the Unleashed Power. Going to chunk him down to about 100 HP, but single-digit win rate. He has no way to get over that wall without blowing his flash. He's not willing to do so. So Captain Shrimp's going to be able to limp away from that one, hide back under his turret, and survive for another day.
And that's good. You don't want to lose your mid laner in that scenario, and that could actually be the opportunity. Glacial Esports wants to take the Baron as well. So now, with both their top laners in the bottom side of the map here, teleports available across the board. Who's going to make that proactive play? All game long, it's been Glacial Esports, but now we need to see something from C9am, who are the ones who are really struggling at the moment here just because of the fact that they needed to be the early aggressors, and they just simply weren't.
Certainly true deep down, and now we're going to see they've rotated their bot lane around mid lane. They're just trying to keep farming up on to Wixie here, but it's not going to be enough to just play around Wixie. They're going to need to find an opportunity where he can use that power without getting engaged on by all these other parties. It's going to be another stun landed onto Captain Shrimps here, but we can see we're now posturing around the Baron here. Cloud9 just wants to make sure that they can have that vision and that it's not going to get snuck away from by the side of Glacial.
And that's very good, because that's kind of that's very likely what's going to happen if they aren't really careful about it. Being able to set up this vision, they continuously keep Prio over the top and mid lane, and that is going to be crucial, allowing them to keep this up here. And you can see as the vision battle goes back and forth, they actually have priority in all three lanes right now, which is just the question is going to continue to be, are they going to do something with it? They had a lot of early priority. We didn't see a whole lot done from it. They have 3 kills at the moment and all this CS, but not a whole lot to show for it. Look at Wixie. He's a 240 CS at 22 minutes. That's better than perfect CS right now. I can't express how strong this Vayne is, how much damage that she's going to be able to push out. But again, you need that right engagement. You need this right opportunity, and Glacial's been airtight so far.
Absolutely. They're playing so well around these advantages. I've had a little bit of a hiccup here or there that ended up giving over 2 kills to that Vayne, but the important shutdowns onto Maudad has been kept completely safe. Maudad has never really even been at a slight risk of dying here, and they're going to need to find a way to stop this man before he just runs through their entire team. As we can see, Cloud9 now setting up for this dragon. They cannot afford to give away the soul here, but Glacial really wants it for themselves, and they're going to try to take it if they can.
Yeah, and I think that actually is going to be really nice for their composition. The fact is, again, all this hard engage, that Cloud Soul allowing them to get that extra movement speed, it's going to make walking down the likes of C9am that much easier. So it's actually a very desirable soul for Glacial Esports team composition, and one you definitely don't want to let them have. But again, you're in this usual soul point dilemma. You allow them to get to soul point. What does that mean? It's so hard for them
to... It's the duo going in onto Speedo. They use the Hextech Ultimatum plus Heroic Entrance to engage onto him, and they're going to take him down with Armored Maudad as a result. It's now a 4v5 fight. Cloud9 is forced to retreat. They're not going to have the opportunities they want without their top laner alive, and that might mean that this Dragon Soul could go over to the side of Glacial, but Cloud9 is going to start it up. They know that they can't afford to give it away. They're going to try to sneak it away before they can come in, but we can see the side of Glacial are coming up here. It's likely going to be a 50-50 unless one side gets forced off.
And they need to try and get something for this. Unfortunately, they know Ragnarok is still available for Maudad, so they are being as careful as they can be with it, being very crucially aware of Armored Maudad's positioning in all of this here. And it is going to be the 50-50 that you were talking about, but with this teleport coming through, I think they need to back off.
It's going to be the Dragon stolen away by the side of XU, but here comes the fight coming afterwards. It's going to be a large knockup landed onto Tempos, and he's going to get taken down as well. And now Wixie chasing onto Captain Shrimp's going to pick him up as well. That was Road back actually moving on to him, and they're going to take him down as well. A 3-for-1 fight rather in the favor of Glacial Esports.
And that is what you expect there. They weren't ready for that deep teleport there from Stupid, and for them to actually get that 5v4. They got the dragon, sure, but now they very well might lose the bear in the process. They are going to try and get them off There are some kind of low HP bars. We're seeing the spears come through. Speedo could jump in and assassinate somebody, but they have to go for something.
They're going to turn right onto him here. They get the Hextech ultimatum on. They got the Olaf right towards him. They got the Roadback's damage, and they're just going to melt right through Speedo. He's now 1 in 5. He's getting taken down over and over again, and now they're over the wall for XU. They're going to melt through him right away, and that means this Baron is guaranteed to the side of Glacial Esports.
Yeah, now this is where this game gets even harder. As if it wasn't hard enough already for C9, and now there's a 5,000 gold lead. All that CS Wixie has picked up really isn't amounting to very much because he's strong, but they can't get the fights that they're looking for. Again, the backline access from Glacial Esports is too powerful. You have Olaf, who you can't CC during his ult, and Camille, who has so much movement because of that hook shot. All it takes is one good flank for her to get onto your backline. But again, C9M not playing their range as well as they should be. But it is very difficult, of course, especially when you have ultimates like the Ragnarok, Hextech Ultimatum, and the Hero's Entrance as well here. So these next couple of minutes are going to be very important. You're just trying to push waves out here, farm safely, so that you don't lose too many towers. And at this point, that's really all you can hope for. So far, though, nothing's gone down yet. But you got to imagine there's going to be a skirmish here soon.
That's right. The smallest of consolations in that last play was that XU was able to steal away the dragon and prevent the soul from being picked up by the side of Glacial. But that really very means little once you can see that they've taken away the Baron already. Now Speedo just getting engaged on by Nuggery Disciple. He's going to try to solo him out. He's going to go in with the Hextech Ultimatum, and he's going to take him down. A killing spree to the side of Nuggery Disciple. And now they're just pushing through the mid lane. They know it's a 4v5 on the map. There's no split push threat. And the split push threat, in fact, is going to be on the side of Glacial as Camille is marching down that bottom lane.
And we talked about how strong Speedo needed to be. Unfortunately, 1 in 6, 1 item deep is not as strong as he needs to be, to say the least. Nuggery Disciple, 3, 1 in 6, having a great game on this Camille, and he is the one who is this side lane mammoth that you have to worry about here. So now, unfortunately, C9M are the ones who are going to have to overcommit to shut down this Camille in the side lane. And the fact is, they lose the straight up 5v5, so they're not going to win a disadvantaged fight in another lane either while they're trying to deal with Nuggery Disciple. This inhibitor, absolutely gone. The rest of their base is most likely gone too, and this is going to be tough. But they have this big minion wave, and it's just such an easy take for them. It's hard for C9. All it's going to take is one good
XU going to try to zero him out immediately, going to force a jump over the wall, and now there's going to be a retreat away from the side of Nuggery Disciple, but not before they finish off Speedo. A good kill picked up by Wixie here. A potential turnaround for Cloud9 here. A huge knock-up from Tempos. Going to try to turn this around, but Nuggery Disciple just melts right through their 80 carry. They have no more damage as Captain Shrimps is going to get taken down as well by Armored Maudad, and it looks like it's going to be a 4-for-1 fight in the favor of Glacial Esports. This is going to be a great opportunity for them to bust through the base and take out some inhibitors, if not the game.
Yeah, barring a legendary play that could never be matched, the game one, it's over here, and C9 Amateur have lost. That was the closest we've seen to a good fight from them, actually making use of their range, but unfortunately, they greeted just a little bit too much. They should have been happy going even, because again, Olaf and Camille getting on top of you is a death sentence, and that death sentence was carried all the way out till the end of the game.
Yeah, a great engaged opportunity from Tempos, but they just do not have the opportunity to win that fight. Just getting smacked around by the wallets of Glacial Esports. Never really had a chance to win the fights that later into the game. They look like Wixie might be able to try to carry the game and turn it around, but there's just too many members of Glacial Esports going on top of him, and they're going to be able to finish him off and take the game at the end of the day.
Yeah, and part of it ends up being because C9 Amateur don't actually get the early game power that they kind of need with the composition that they have, because again, this Jax never really got strong, no split push threat available to them, and that's kind of what their whole composition ends up working around. And because that early game vision from Glacial was amazing, a thing of beauty, because the fact is, again, it's like having a Destiny ultimate, the TF ultimate on you all the time. The fact is they knew where XD was at almost every moment of that early game because of some very well-placed deep wards in both the top and bot side jungles, making it impossible for XU to gank, to do his job and get strong on that Nidalee. And at the end of the day, had that gone well, some of these close fights we saw towards the end of the day could have gone the other way. But unfortunately, that's how the cookie crumbles. And luckily, it's only game one in this 3-game series.
Yeah, and look at Armor and Maudad after that game, ending at 10-0-9, a huge carry
Pretty
performance
good.
from him. Most gold in the game by a pretty decent margin, even passing
Yep.
up Wixie at the end of the day with his 280 CS. And, you know, maybe time to look back towards those pick ban phases and decide that the Olaf might have been a little bit too powerful to let through.
Yeah, and it is definitely a common red side ban for that exact reason. And although Cloud9 Amateur, if they're on the red side again, I'm pretty sure they aren't going to let that go through anymore. I think they understand that the Olaf was a big problem for them, and the fact that he got those couple of early kills and he absolutely dragged it to the end of the game while knocking on the enemy Nexus. And it was just so, and then they made it look easy on the side of Glacial Esports.
They really did, and you know we do have Cloud9 with side selection coming into game 2, so we're going to assume they're going to try to avoid that red side for the next game. But in order to see, we're going to have to get over into that lobby, and for that, we're going to have to take a short break beatdown. But do not go anywhere, everybody, because we are going to be right back with the game 2 of Glacial Esports versus Cloud9 Amateur. Welcome back, everybody, to Game 2 of the Risen Champions League Tier 2 tournament between Cloud9 Amateur and Glacial Esports. We are getting right into the draft for Game 2. My name is Gordo, and I'm joined once again by Beatdown Boulevard. And Beatdown, what do you make of these picks?
I'll tell you what, the bands are picture perfect. The only thing that's changed is the sides have been mirrored now, and because Glacial didn't opt to ban the Olaf, Cloud9, of course, happily are going to be able to just grab that up for themselves. Interestingly enough, though, like we talked about during Game 1's draft, it is usually a good response into champs like Hecarim because of how strong Olaf is Hecarim, and the inverse, or how strong Olaf is in the beginning and how the inverse is true for Hecarim. But the Camille pick, I like.
Is certainly the case, and we are seeing right here that clearly nobody learned anything from last game, as Olaf's going to go through picks and bans yet again, and we're going to see Speedo locking in that Jax again. Did not perform on it the way he wanted to in Game 1, but he's decided, you know what, that was just a fluke. I'm taking the Jax into Camille again. I know I can beat Nogri Disciple in this matchup.
Yeah, and it definitely is going to look better in this draft at the very least, because now you do, even though Jax isn't like the best top laner you want to be team fighting with, he definitely has the kit to at least assist. Of course, can allow the follow-up from the Kai'Sa. Olaf, of course, again, the backline access is so very good. And I just want to see what these last couple of picks are. I do expect especially that we're probably going to see Alistar again from Tempos. I actually don't think he had a really bad game, and I think I would like it quite a bit into this comp from Glacial as well.
Yeah, it compares well with Kai'Sa. I'm really surprised. It's good against Leona. I'm very surprised to see that the Rakan and Braum bans were the ones that we saw come through from the side of Glacial there. Really feels like this would have been a great opportunity to pick that Alistar right off the board. But that does not seem to be the case today. We're going to expect it to be picked away. But first, we're going to see Glacial's 4th champion right here, right now. Will it be AD carry? Will it be mid? Looks like it's going to be AD carry.
And it's looking like they're going to save mid for last because Cloud9 Amateur also haven't picked theirs. And we are going to see what their support and mid matchup is going to look like now. Wixie, we have the AD carry swamp coming through. Wixie's on the Kai'Sa that he very much loves to play. And you know what? All things considered, he did do well in Game 1. So I don't see how putting him on this comfort champion isn't going to go well either. We are going to see the Alistar come through, of course. Is going to lane well into Leona. Is going to offer engage as well as that disengage that we know Alistar has. Of course, the no button. I'm going to patent that joke one day. But point is, the mid lane pick is what I am most curious about here. And it's going to be Rumble?
Yeah, Cloud9 going to go for 3 purple champions in a row, but then going to round it out with Rumble here, as he is likely going to be the mid laner here. We were talking about earlier, Beatdown, that Captain Shrimps is certainly one